Hey everyone, are you a stock investor and you're looking for some books to read? Well, I've got 5 books for you, and I'm going to talk about the highlights from these books, my key takeaways, and what I liked about them. Now, I just want to be super frank. These books are not absolutely super easy to read, but I think there's some highlights in these books that will absolutely help you, because some of these books either gave me a new way of looking at the stock market, or hey, it gave me a light bulb moment, or hey, it gave me a structured framework for investing in certain types of stocks. So if you're looking for that, then you got to check out today's video. Now, the first book is called Rule 1 Investing. I actually really like this book because it's fairly easy to read. I've read like hundreds of investing books, and this one actually provides easy terminology. It has great stories about his background of how he wasn't a savvy investor, but someone taught him, and now he's a very sophisticated investor. And the book is really stressing on value investing, which is basically just buying stocks for cheap and what to look for. So I thought it did a great job on it. But I think the book is definitely still an introduction to value investing. I would say that it does give you a bunch of examples, which is really good, but unfortunately a lot of the examples are a bit outdated. And so that's my fair warning, is that some of the examples are a little bit outdated. They happen to market their courses and their checklists. So just a little bit of warning. If you do happen to really like his style, I would just give you like heads up. The course is like $19,000 Canadian. So I think that's a little bit too much money. But other than that, I think the book is a good read, okay? Just be careful about signing up for one of his courses and it leads to this $19,000 course. Second book that I really like is called Modern Value Investing by Sven Carlin. Now, he's actually on YouTube. I actually like his YouTube videos, and I actually picked up this book and I thought it was a pretty good read. So this is just another take on value investing, and all value investing is about is just buying stocks for really, really cheap. And they're boring stocks that you can buy for cheap. So they're not going to be the Teslas or the Shopify's of the world, but it gives you a very simplified strategy of how to find value stocks. So modern value investing goes through things like looking for moat, which is looking for a competitive edge, buying companies that you know. It gives you a bit of a framework for valuing value stocks, which is through the discounted cash flow model. So if you're looking for a bit more detail on value investing, I think this is a great book to read. Now, the next book is called Tfsa Compounder, and this is a Canadian investing book. So if you are absolutely a novice when it comes to investing in dividend stocks, I think this book does a great explanation of what dividend investing is and why you should do it and how you should do it and all the steps involved, including examples using Canadian stocks and using websites that are free. Okay, so I think one of my favorite parts about this book is that it gave clear examples, and it was such a simple, easy process to go through to look for dividend stocks. So if you're completely new in dividend investing, you got to check out this book. Now, the next book is called Get Rich with Dividends. Now, I know, you're going to say, oh my God, that title is terrible. It is terrible. Okay. It is so clickbaity, but you know what? I'm only recommending it because I actually found it helpful. The reason why is because it introduced me to dividend growth investing. Now, it has a framework called 10, 11, 12 strategy. Now, I'm not sure how appropriate this strategy really works in today's market, because a lot of the stocks that they're using is from many moons ago. But I would say that the concept and the framework introduced still is a good read. Maybe the examples are super outdated, but the whole point of the book is like if you have a 20-year time frame and you're looking at dividend stocks, then there's certain traits that you want to look for in these companies, and you absolutely want to buy them when the market tanks, because it really compounds your return on investment. Now, I know this is probably like a little bit scary. I mean, when the market crashes, a lot of people wouldn't put a lot of capital into the market. So this is something that you'll have to overcome, mentally speaking. So that's what they emphasize on in Get Rich with Dividends. But I think if you have a 20-year time frame and you're just starting with dividend growth investing, this is a good book to read, at least even to skim over. Now, the last book I want to introduce is called One Up Wall Street by Peter Lynch. Now, this book, I've read it actually several times. Okay, I actually really like Peter Lynch's strategy, which is growth investing. He actually has a lot of things that are just not just growth investing, but just things that you should look for in any company. So to help you out, I wanted to give you the key takeaways from One Up Wall Street. The number one takeaway was buy what you understand, which is why in every one of my videos, if I talk about stocks, I always say buy companies that you know. This is where it's coming from. It's from Peter Lynch. It's like buy what you understand, because then when you understand the company, you're more likely to stay invested, because one of the biggest hurdles to investing is actually staying invested. It's so easy to just push a button, and then buy a stock. It's much harder to stay invested when the market goes up, down, up, down. It's like the market volatility can drive you nuts. And when you know the company, then you're more confident in the company, you're more likely to stay invested. The second key takeaway is research before you invest in companies. How many of us, including me, way back in the day, would read a blog article or take a tip from your friend and then go invest in a company? I'm guilty of that. So this book emphasizes on researching the company and looking for certain factors. And it does a great job of talking what factors to look for, including growth rates, PE ratio, and so on and so forth. Another awesome takeaway is invest in the long term, okay? It's so easy to get like super stressed out if you're looking at, 6 months out, past 3 months, just in the past 1 year. The market is actually super unpredictable in a very, very short term, between 1 and 3 years. But over the long term, it actually is a very predictable, especially you're choosing best of the breed companies. So if you're afraid about your company, just zoom out and look at the chart. Then you're okay. Invest in the long term. Look at a 10 to 20 year period. One of the things I really liked about this book is the term buy right and sit tight, okay, which is investing in the long term. And in order to get a nice company, you need two things to happen, which is either earnings growth or multiple expansion. And if you have both, then you can definitely compound your growth for a very, very long time. So we're talking like the Amazon or the Tfsa or the Shopify's of the world. Just a bit of a warning, this book is also quite old. Okay, so the examples are old, and he does emphasize a lot on small cap stocks. And if you don't know what small cap stocks are, they're essentially just companies that haven't really proven itself. Okay, they're smaller stage companies. They're in early stages of being a company, which means that they don't have a huge track record of revenues and sales and profit margins, et cetera, et cetera. So it makes sense that if you invest in an early stage company, you invest right, you have a huge upside. But at the same time, he emphasizes that if you invest in a company that is a small cap stock, you should invest with money that you're okay to lose, okay? Because that's really what it means, because a small cap stock has a lot more risk. But I think that no matter what, I would say if you're like me, who's not super interested in investing a ton of money in small cap stocks, I think this book is still a great read, because it has a lot of foundational things to look for in a company. And of course, he's a legend, okay? He's a legend. Hey everyone, are you a Canadian and would love to know more about dividend growth investing, which is like investing once and collecting a lifetime of income? I gather a lot of these key takeaways from all these hundreds of books that I read, and I digest it into this ultimate guide to dividend growth investing for Canadians. So if you're interested in getting started, what to look for, and how to screen stocks in a quick, easy peasy method, then you got to check out my guide below. It's free. Hey everyone, what's your favorite investing book that's easy to read and has really good key takeaways? Comment below. I would love to know, because I'm a huge reader and it would help everyone else who's watching this video. Hey everyone, if you found this video super helpful, smash that like button. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video.